with the Commissioner for Environment in Rivers State, and I would also briefly speak with the Publicity Secretary for Ahoada West. And the reason is very simple. Yesterday, if you had listened to the news, you must have gotten a wind of the situation around parts of Ahoada West, where a report has it that, well, it looks as though flooding is beginning to gradually creep into houses of some of the residents in that area. And there are concerns from some of those residents about their well-being and what provisions have put in place by the council chairman. And that will not only be for Ahoada West, it would also include for other areas where flood usually is a problem. But first, let's get in touch with the Commissioner for Environment. Remember that the Rivers State government had put up a committee headed by the Deputy Governor. That committee also had the Commissioner for Information as well as the Commissioner for Environment. This flood committee was supposed to sit down, deliberate, and come up with some plan as to how we would be able to navigate the period. Quickly, Mr. Sidney Gbara is with us this morning. Honorable Commissioner, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Honorable Commissioner.
Good morning, River State.
All right, good morning. All right. Before we get on with you first, let's also quickly just say that Mr. Joe is here, the Chief Press Secretary for the Ahoada West Council Chairman. Joe, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rivers people.
All right. We'll be at a moment, but let's about what's going on with the committee that was set up, the flood committee that was set up by the Rivers State government. Yourself in that community, the Commissioner of Information in that committee, the Deputy Governor in charge of that committee. What is happening so far? It's almost a month, if not a month, since we had that committee set up. What's the update?
Yes, I know that Rivers people are eager to see, the committee swing into action, and I can tell you that whatever you want to do and get it right.
Mr. Gbara, I don't know if you can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Okay.
What I was saying is, whatever thing you want to do and get it right,
yes,
you need to have the necessary engagement, put the relevant structures on ground, to ensure that when you kickstart, you are getting it precise action. What I mean, anywhere or whatsoever, any location that this flood might affect. Let me greet my brother in the studio. Thank God he's there. And I'm sure he's equally having abreast with the little we have been doing through his council chairman, because our committee has expanded to, we have accommodated the 23 local government chairmen, and they equally have done a replica of what we have in the state in their various local governments. We have even gone further through this council chairman to identify low grants and high grants in the state. What I mean is areas where it is very safe for us to put up IDP camps, because you don't put it in low grant area where at the end of the day, the flood will still come chasing them away. That's what I mean. And we have been engaging. We've been engaging a lot, most especially with the council chairman and the people they have nominated from their various LGAs, because this flood is definitely going to affect the local people more.
So in
just
this
like we have.
Sorry to maximize your time. We don't end the last time. With these engagements that you've held with council chairman, can you highlight some of the conclusions you arrived at, the decisions that were taken, and some of the steps that perhaps we would see bearing fruits in the coming days? As already some parts of the state residents are already suffering the impact of the flood. That's the reason why we have the spokesperson, Chief Press Secretary for the Ahoada West Council here, because of the reports we're getting from Ahoada West. So the meetings you've been holding, what conclusions were reached? What agreements were entered into with the committee and the council chairman?
Okay, first and foremost, the essence of those meetings and engagements were to ensure that our outreach, is visible, in every nook and cranny of the state. Our conclusion, what we are looking at, is first and foremost, we are readily informed because of these engagements. What I mean is the council chairmen are informing us blow by blow, day by day, incidents that relates to flood in their various local governments. So in one sitting, we can sit down and tell you the areas that are being affected, and I know that Ahoada West is more. So right now, the point where we are now is we've done a town hall meeting within the Orashi region, while we are going to handle that in the other areas of the state where we envisage this flood will equally, affect as predicted by NEMA. We are already at a point where we are going to take the Ahoada West, in fact, the Orashi region, first as a red flag, because we know that the last time when it happened, they were the worst hit. And right now, the signs are already there. In fact, some of the schools in Ahoada West is already being affected. So last week, Saturday, our team visited Ahoada West, and we've seen the situation. So we are at the point where, in collaboration with the council chairman, not just Ahoada West, Ahoada East and the other Orashi region, local governments, to put up immediately, put together an IDP camp, and then relieve materials. That Rivers people are going to see latest by, not towards this weekend, by next week. We are going to roll that out, but we have to resettle the people first. So we have educated the chairman through their committee to talk to their people, because some of the challenges we have, for instance, like in the Indoni area that is equally being affected, some have one excuses or the other. Naturally, any person will be reluctant to leave his abode, except maybe his or her life is threatened. But sometimes when experts see this thing coming, through the prediction, they can tell you that, look, the level of this water.
Hello.
So we don't need to wait. Yes. So we don't need to wait for the flood situation to be life-threatening before we will relocate our people.
All right.
So that's the reason, and that's the essence of the committees we have in their various local government, to conscientize their people, to understand the fact that as soon as we see this thing coming up, we need to relocate immediately. And as soon as you relocate, you now become our responsibility in the state. Anything you need, yes, your welfare will be taken care of. The committee.
You mentioned some schools already been affected. The last time I spoke to you about this, you had said now would be of the out there the color. So now the schools are affected in terms of areas, whereas children are holding classes, what happening with them?
Yes, that's why then action locate. In the camps, there will be, provision for learning. Since it is a state disaster, not like in, understand in Bayelsa State they have they are undergoing now. But since our own is different, the areas that are affected, definitely, we must make provision for the children to continue their learning, because children in the other areas that are not affected will continue with their school. So the curriculum is one and the same. Therefore, in the IDP camps, we are going to ensure that the students continue their learning. That's why we are equally inculcating the Commissioner for Education on this particularly.
All right. I wanted to find out, perhaps you inform us if those plans are already on ground, because we understand that some children already are not able to go to access their classes, which would mean they don't go to school right now. So the question is whether these plans are already in place, or the children will still have to wait, which would mean that they are missing days or weeks of schooling before the plan is set up. Many people would expect that from July, I think around July, June, when NEMA gave the warning and cited some of the areas, we must have had this, especially looking at the fact that this will not be the first time we've had flood issues in Rivers State. So there should have already been a blueprint or something on ground that would have covered all of these areas, and it would just be about implementing. So from what you're saying, do we have already something on ground, or we're still looking.
Yeah, everything I'm talking to you, or I'm saying here, are things that we are expediting action on immediately. Frank with you, um, at this point, where we are trying to put together the IDPs, yes, unfortunately, maybe just a few days in between, but I can tell you that within today, as I'm talking to you, and by Friday, I think every plan will be in place so that most especially for the kids, to continue with their curriculum,
All right.
and every other thing will follow.
Okay. Nigeria Info is going to stay on your heels and continue to follow you up and get details about this. We have a short commercial coming on. As soon as we come back from that, we'll also hear from the Chief First Secretary for Ahoada West. Let's also know what the council chairmen are doing. Honorable Commissioner, I think at this point we might want to say thank you and allow you continue with the plans so that we can expedite the implementation of the plans that you have talked about already. You talked about relief materials and all of those that will be from next week. That will be shared from next week.
This weekend.
By this weekend.
We will start sharing by this weekend, because His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, is very passionate about this and is on our neck to ensure that we hit the ground running.
In that case, just stay on the line for us. You might have to respond to a few questions from the listener. Thank you. Before we go over to my second guest, let me say this. Ogba Gbema, Ndoni local government areas, Ahoada West local government area, in fact, Ahoada East inclusive, Kana, Port Harcourt, Tai, some of the areas that would possibly suffer flooding. All right. When we return after the break, we'll highlight these even more. Stay with us. conversation continues here on the Morning Crossfire. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. I still have the Commissioner for Environment, Sydney Gbara, with us on the show. Here in the studio is the Chief Press Secretary for Ahoada West Local Government Area, Esedi Joe David. Joe, thank you very much for staying with us.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start with you now. We'll try and get the Commissioner back on, and I'm pretty sure he'll be waiting to run. But I'd like to first in Ahoada West. We know that the council has started sensitization. Okay. Honorable Commissioner, thank you for joining us again. Hello, Mr. Gbara. Thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you.
All right, just...
You're welcome.
All right. So, quickly, we'll speak with the Chief Press Secretary now. We hear that in Ahoada West Council, sensitization started for residents on preventive measures to mitigate, the casualty level. And... there's sensitization program at some of the IDP camps in Akinima and the rest. So my question first would be, the council have already started putting up IDP camps. Is that what this is?
Yes. We have 8 IDP camps designated, according to the areas to which we know that there will be clusters. We have at Okaki, we have in Biama, we have Akinima, we have Okobe, we'll have one at Lahoda, we'll have 2 at Ahoada Central, and then Ubeta camps. And what we have done as a government is that when you look at the flood management procedures at level 3 is where you have the engagement of public awareness and communications, which we have involved the NOA. Mr. Young Ario Tamona was there. We have involved the NEMA. Osochi was there. We involved the royal, the kings and the chiefs of the area. In fact, they were led by Okolomi Bay of Ngene. They were all there to communicate how best this flood will be treated in this regime. And I must tell you for a fact, we're not at any emergency. Honorable Yeko Ikporo is controlling the system so efficiently such that we don't have any emergencies. What we have done right now is that we are enumerating those going to the IDP camps. We'll have a makeshift for those who already have submerged homes at the craft center. In fact, Pastor Otavier is the one in charge of that craft center. He's displaced too. And so he's at the craft center, and we're nominating them from there into the IDP camps. We want to be very sure how many persons are going to the IDP camps and what are their needs and all of that. So we're moving them in that gradual process, and there is no emergency. We're going to have committee members who are monitoring stuffs, the proceedings, the area, like Odereke area. We have water rising in that area, Ikodu area, water is rising, but it's very controlled. We are getting reports on per hour basis because water flows almost per hour, especially when the tide is high and the sun is up. And so we're monitoring all of those to ensure that nobody is suffering any emergency. And the key thing we're doing is that as a government, we have made sure, like today, relief materials from the LGA will be going out to those who are already...
All right, the council already received relief materials from the state government or from NEMA?
We have got it from state government. We have our own provision.
Okay, at the local government level.
Yes, our own provision. The Commissioner for Environment they are doing very well from the state to give us materials. But us, as an LGA, we are making sure we secure those that are under our coffins. Okay, so we're making sure that there is no one under any emergencies. I speak to you now, there's an essay on disaster management, Dikena Papa. And so they are on the clock movement to ensure that everyone in any guise of flood impediment is well taken care of. So as the day go on and the day go by, in fact, yesterday, if we can call in those who are in Akinema axis, who were in Akinema from 8 a.m. to yesterday till about 5 p.m., so the residents could see the chairman, could see the flood committee members, could see who to talk to. Went to areas where they are grinding. They are very busy this period. They are in their farms, grinding cassava and all that. So a very few number are those who are going to the IDP camps.
All right. We had a disturbing report from a resident, a woman, who said her family is trapped in their home as the flood level continued to rise, and she was lamenting the refusal of local authorities to open the town hall.
Yeah.
Is the town hall still...
The town hall is the exact IDP camp. As I told you, we're not allowing people rush into the town hall. We are taking them first to the craft center where they proceed into the town hall to get a space. You don't just move.
So how much sensitization is going into letting people understand this? Because it will clearly mean that this woman doesn't know that you don't go to the town hall first. You have to go somewhere else.
She was enlightened. Issue with press is people can just pay for news out of the blue and it just goes into the air. I was talking to a respondent, how did that leave Ahoada West without checking with us? So if you get something against or for the government or against the government, you should let us know. The CDC chairman of Akinima was one who confronted the woman in her distress and asked her to use the craft center so that subsequently she will be moved into her own space. We're not natural disaster controllers. We don't know how long this flood will be. So we are taking our time to ensure that if you're moving to the IDP camp, you have a space that keeps you comfortable for the 1, 2, 3 weeks or 1 month to which you'll be there. And the IDP camp may stay longer because we don't know how much effect it will have on their homes. So there has to be post-flood relief, initiatives that has to maybe rebuilding houses, and stuff like that. So we don't want to be in a haste to just push people in there. So the woman misunderstood that conversation, she and the CDC chairman of the community, Akinima, there, to use the makeshift while we are, and the makeshift is safe. I've given the name of the IDP, the displaced person who is controlling the space there, Pastor.
So from the makeshift place at the craft center is when you move now to the town hall.
All of the IDP centers are in that controlled state. All right. So when he moved out, I went there yesterday. We had to even do a little bit of move around town to get that feelers immediately, so that whoever is having that, uncertainty of we're not being cared for can quickly hear.
So what are the items? You said the council is also providing its own relief items. So what items are on ground? Because if people are going to be living in those areas for that long, food will be necessary as well as their health would be a major concern. So what's on ground?
In fact, the reason for the health is much more why IDP camps are not allowed for just any entrance. The toilet systems, the fumigation systems, the security systems are things that are already trying to be put on ground, of course, to make sure they are safe. But for the relief material now, the state government have given us a lot of cartons of condiments. We saw we had there's spices in them, there are foods in them, there's Indomie noodles in them, and all of that. As an LGA, we know what these people want immediately. They're already farming their cassava, which is everywhere. So we're providing what helps the cassava go into the stomach to keep them relief for the period in which they are busy farming cassava. What to make them, give them a soup, what to give them.
So you're providing soup items
those
for them?
Things, yes. And those who have come to the craft center and who are, actually in the stress of the flood already. So we're doing that today. In fact, at the end of today, I'll give you a call and tell you the progress report of how that is going. We are making sure. It's good to have people in leadership, but much more, it's good to have those who are experienced technocrats, administrators in leadership. And I can tell you for a fact, Honorable Yeko Ekporo, you can Google him. He's been efficient over the years. And coming to Ahoada West at a time like this, it's a plus for us.
All right. Let's quickly get back to the Honorable Commissioner for Environment. We just need him to highlight what are those items that the state government on its own part is putting together as relief materials that it will be distributing to the councils, because he says this weekend we'll have relief materials. Honorable Commissioner, I'm sure you can hear me. All right, so just give us an idea. The relief materials that would be dispatched before next weekend, you say?
Yes.
What and what should you be expected?
Oh, well, a whole lot. The relief materials are of different segments. We have the food, that has to do with raw food, provisions, and then we have drugs. We have other household, materials like toiletries, beddings, wrappers, bedroom slippers, brooms, packer.
Do we have mosquito nets as well?
Hello?
Mosquito nets as well as
treated mosquito net, disinfectants, and anything, whatever household items that will make somebody comfortable. Whatever you will need in your home, we are procuring all that, alongside the food items.
And what about?
We are going to equally get books, learning books, exercise books, writing materials. That is for the pupils that will be in the camp, so that they can use it. Yeah.
All right.
And every other consumables that might be needed, because these items are our projections.
All right.
By the time we get to the field, maybe you might get to see some more things
that are needed.
That you didn't think of that will be needed. Yeah. So
what about medical supplies?
Interventionist action that we need to take equally. by way of operation, we are equally ready and prepared to do all that.
What about medical supplies, sanitary pads, and the rest of them for the women that would be in the camp?
Yes, that's what I said. That's why the Commissioner for Health is a member of the committee. It's not just providing the drugs. We are equally going to render free medical services in the IDP camps for tests, and medical checks and checkups.
All right. Let's open the phone lines. I'm pretty sure lots of people have questions to ask. Let's quickly hear from you now. 0817-923-0007. For those who are watching live on Facebook, we are streaming. You can join us on Facebook and watch live at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Speaking with the Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Sidney Gbara. We're also here with us is Esedi Joe David. He's the Ahoada West Local Government Area Chief Press Secretary. So you can put your questions through to us on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, or you call the phone numbers 0817-923-0007. On Facebook, we're asking you to tell us if you live in a flood-prone area. Now, I'll just highlight some of those areas where we could expect the floodings. Ogba, Egbema, Endoni, Degema, Ahoada East, Ahoada West. It goes on, Tai, Kana. Parts of Port Harcourt local government areas where, in this case, we have flash floods. That's the major thing we have in those areas. So they might not be handled the same way they would handle the ones in Ahoada West. They might not get to the level of where they need IDP camps. But people in Ogba, Egbema, Endoni, the whole Orashi region, perhaps you let us know what activities your council chairmen are putting up, or what activities from the state government you're seeing in preparation for what's to come with regards to the flood. Let's open the phone lines now and start with Chima in Rumokuta. Chima, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Andrew.
All right, Chima, go straight to the point.
I your commissioner on studio there. First of all, I must say I have really lost faith in this administration, because it's almost 1 month now that this committee has been set up. We are still hearing that they are trying to put up IDP camp. Now, just yesterday, the governor made us understand that he is not working in synergy with his executive, because he went to inspect a project, and the commissioner for education or work was lying to him. That is not a good working term. And now, even up to now, is he talking about using a town hall for an IDP camp? Why don't he begin to think of to get a place permanent for an IDP camp? Yeah, all these things will not be an emergency again to us. So, to me, let the governor focus on an administration other than seeking for structure and power and everything with his predecessor. Thank you very much.
Good news from our three. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, go on.
And Commissioner, I greet you, sir. First of all, let me appreciate the governor for this step he's taking. Because I remember all the last floodings, even the last one that happened under the former administration that raised 1 billion naira for the committee. It was when we started shouting on Nigerian Info. Nigerian Info was repeating it and talking, and we started calling. That was when the former governor now set up committee and graded the 1 billion naira, even when the flood has chased everybody away. But this time around, the flood has not come. The governor has taken proactive steps. Kudos to the governor. Quick one. In the flooding issue, in all the local government, my own community, Rumosi, and we have Eneka, whenever there is this short initial flash flooding, this is a major flooding that chases people out and the house is almost covered. In most times, they consider more on Orashi. But in Rumosi and Eka, I need the commissioner to do something about it. But however, there is a drainage that was dug from cutting Rumosi, going towards Romawalo, cutting that fast road, heading towards Rumeki to enter into the Chuba River. There was a blockade. They say a house blocked that, the contractor from continuing that drainage. Please, do something short. As they're doing this flyover, this Rumeki ring road, it can pass before they do the major road. That is one. Then, secondly, the issue of I want to know the people in Orashi. They have farmers, serious farmers, who are dealing with yam and cassava. Now, the flood will disrupt them and spoil what they're doing. What is the government, your commission, doing to ensure that there's no food lack in the nest and these corrupt farmers are carried along. That finally, you talked about health. How many doctors, how many nurses are being assigned to be positioned in this
All right,
area?
good news. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Let's quickly touch on a few more calls, and then I'm pretty sure the commissioner is noting. We'll get responses for all of those. Would also hear what the response of the Chief Press Secretary here. Ida from Nkoro, good morning.
Yeah, Andrew, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank the Commissioner Deira. Yeah, my name is Honorable Dan from Nkoro. My brother, I want to thank the Governor of Rivers State. Since this man took over government in Rivers State, I can see that everywhere is very peaceful and everywhere is going well. I want to commend him for the quick response to the flood issue. But every time that flood will come, they will be running around. They should please make a permanent place for people. I want this they use the opportunity to plead for Nkoro houses. We have the Wama houses, we are getting flood. Olonkoro and the men in Nkoro Kingdom. You can ask the Commissioner for information. He's a part of the committee. He should please help us this time. He should please come there and do something. People of Nkoro and Nkoro local government. Commissioner, please do something.
All right, Ida, thank you very much. David in Yenegua, good morning.
Good morning, my brother man, Andrew.
All right,
my
David.
name is David West.
Go on.
Andrew, when I listen to the Honorable Commissioner, sincerely speaking, he tells me he's talking about action. As far as I'm concerned, the people, all what they need at this point in time is government action. You cannot tell me that predictions have been taking place or have been given before now. It is now that government is looking for higher ground. It is now that government is looking for where to put people. All these things are not supposed to be like that. If not for the alarm raised by that woman in your news, I don't think even the local government will be telling us they have this, they have done this, they have done that. These things are things we know that will come. This is not the first time we're having flood. So it is expected that all these situations should have been there. So that when the issue arises, the people will just move in there quietly without you having that news in your station of that woman raising the alarm that even the town hall, they could not open for her. Please, what you need to do, or what I am advising is, after the flood, these people still need to be taken care of. This is the best time government can enumerate them that immediately after the flood, they also swing into action to give them further materials for them to start their lives, please. Thank you very much.
All right, David, thank you. All right, we'll just take Isaiah. We'll take Isaiah quickly, and then we go to Muriel before we come back and conclude. Isaiah in Buguma, good morning.
Andrew,
yes.
I greet you once again. To the guests, I greet you. Andrew, you see, my problem in this part of the world, instead of proaction, take the lead toll in governance. You see grammars taking the lead tolls in governance. Most times you now feel that when you hear most of these grammars, it's as if all is done and all is well. I want to say that let it be that days are gone when we'll be experiencing just grammar and without actions on ground. I think in this government, we don't need, because the governor we have, if you listen to his body actions, you know that whenever you are given responsibility by him and you are not in tandem with that job, he will call you and he will immediately show you the way forward or the way out. So I want, instead of the people to cry and the governor will hear and call you who are in the line of duty, please make sure you are ahead, 21 step ahead of your duty as always. Thank you. God bless.
All right. And finally, quickly, Muriel in Okrika. Oh, we lost the call from Muriel, unfortunately. All right. Let's go back to the commissioner first. To start with you, Honorable Commissioner, quickly a response to some of the questions raised. I'll just add one question, very important. What is the situation with SEMA in Rivers State? Because for many, if SEMA was active and have been active over the years, we might not even be needing what we're doing now.
Well, first and foremost, let me thank you for this program. You see, the essence of this program is education and interaction and learning in the process. In our government, we are people-oriented, and sometimes when we interact with people like this, we'll get more spurred and more encouraged. So I want to thank the viewers for their very positive arguments and very positive suggestions that they've given to us. SEMA, NEMA, and every other organizations, bodies that are environmentally inclined in the states, we are working hand in hand. And we are all ensuring that we meet up with the needs of our people, not just protecting the environment, but for this flood issue, we are working with every organization, NGOs alike. Some religious organizations have equally indicated interest. Some volunteers, have equally indicated interest to be part of what, we are doing. You made mention of how many doctors, how many nurses that will be, assigned to
in the various
IDP
camps.
I want to let you know that in the medical sector, we already have a team. We already have a team on.
Hello, Commissioner. I don't know if you can hear us.
Let me say it here that I'm very, very pleased with my brother in the studio who has, dutifully enumerated what they are doing.
Honorable Commissioner, because we don't have a lot of time and we need to hear from the Chief Press Secretary, I think we'd have to let you go. The network is becoming a huge interference.
I think my brother has given justice to that. So my final word is for Rivers people to note that we are not going to disappoint them. We are on it. We are on it already.
Okay.
Our people will not be allowed to suffer one bit.
All right.
For every suggestion and arguments that have been put up here, it's noted and will be, transmitted to the committee.
All right, Mr. Gbara.
We meet up with all this.
We say thank you here. Like I said earlier, would continue to stay on your toes, on your heels rather, to make sure that the job is done and we get the necessary information that the people need to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
All right, quickly, let's come to the Chief Press Secretary. We have less than 2 minutes. Let's get your response and last words. You heard most of the callers. So, do you think that enough is being done to sensitize? Because one of them said, if not for that woman's conversation, we might not even hear all of this. But yet you said that there's sensitization.
We have been in your news even way before the woman, okay? So we know that not everybody will hear the same thing at the same time. So we'll keep talking to our people. But the conviction we have is that we will not let anyone suffer in this flood process. Everybody will be cared for. We have phone numbers available for interventions.
Can we have those numbers?
I'll just give you one of them. Okay, so I'll just give you one. 080 38 74 5614.
Only for people in Ahoada area? Or for
No, just Ahoada West, not even Ahoada West government area. So if you call and you're talking about somewhere else, they will attend to you. So be rest assured, the government's an open government. We are always in Akedema, the council headquarters. We live there, so we are very available to everybody who wants to get in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joe. And that's it. You can go on Facebook, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, and watch the whole conversation again. Good morning.
You are